Hey everybody, Devynn Thompson here with my handsome husband, John Thompson. We are part of the middle class fancy, but we're not that fancy because we don't have a hidden trash can in a cabinet like all you fancy people. Our trash can, our trash can is on the side of our refrigerator with a broken lid that we got from Target like 6 years ago. But today we're talking about middle class fancy and employee buy-in.
Devin was trolling the internet, Instagram, and you found that slogan, the fancier the house, the harder it is to find the trash can.
Yeah, and I'm like, are we poor because we don't have cabinet trash cans? Like,
yes, basically.
Apparently we're straight losers because
Yeah.
everyone can see our trash.
But you know what? We can totally not use our freezer and use that as a trash can.
Dang, then we'd be real middle class fancy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we should do that.
Okay, cool. So today we're going to be talking about, we were really on this before we started recording and I thought it was hilarious.
Employee buy-in or partner buy-in or customer buy-in.
I kind of hate that whole idea of buy-in because I
Right.
think that you shouldn't have to sell people on shit. I think that you
Certainly
should,
not your employees.
No, I think that you should just be a good person and have great processes and
Right.
stuff in place to really empower people and give them positive encouragement. So I don't really like it as employee buy-in, but we're going to name this episode employee buy-in.
Yeah, I get that too. I mean, a lot of businesses are really focused on culture and employee buy-in right now. And those things, if you're, like you said, a decent boss and you explain yourself diligently enough, they should respond in a positive way as long as you've given them the full scope of the reasoning why we're changing a process or a protocol or something like that. I would say that I might not be the best because I'm pretty direct, but I do try to give them a little bit more of an underlining reason why where in big corporations that I've worked at, they don't give you those small details because they don't want to give you the hardcore facts of why they've had to change or re-implement something.
Well, I think John said something that is true. I love you to death, but you're really not the best at delivering certain
Right.
messages. Just like in our personal life, I could be super gnarly, I get emotional about things. And I think that it's really hard as a business owner to detach yourself from the frustration and the anger that you have based on certain things happening within your business. So I
Because
think,
you have an emotional tie with it.
yeah. You can't just be like, oh, fuck it, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal to you because you've sacrificed so much to create this business to give people a great job. But I think the first step to really have a great company culture, and you brought up culture, so I'm glad that you did, is you have to have the right people in a management position
Right.
so that you're not the one having those difficult conversations with staff. You're not the one that's constantly the enforcer.
Yeah.
You're just kind of, the figurehead and the face of the company. And I think that's honestly the easiest way. And
It is, but let's talk about it's when you get to that point, you have a lot of staff and you have a lot of money coming in so that you can afford this manager, that you can do those things. But there's a huge gap in between where you still have to be the manager and you can hire a manager, right?
well, as an owner, you always need to have your eyes on your money.
Yeah.
And
So
people think that money is a dirty word. It's not a dirty word. You go into business because you need to make money to stay in business, to live and survive. We all have bills. We all have expenses and things that we need in order to live the lives that we live. But it's important as a business owner to never lose touch. I think that a lot of businesses really start to go on the downward spiral when the owner puts too much trust in somebody
Right.
that doesn't have enough understanding or investment to where it starts poisoning the well in a way.
Well, I think that a lot of people like myself, I'll definitely call myself out again because I'm not afraid to do that. But when I see a problem, I want to address it immediately. Then what happens is you put in the worst your emotional stress onto the people that you're trying to make this change happen for you in the field or wherever you're at. And the best rule of thumb I have found, and this is with new implementation, this is with writing up an employee or speaking to them about a problem or whatever, you have to have a bridged gap between your idea and when you're actually going to present it so that you yourself can bring it down to a different level to where they're actually going to want to listen to you. Because if you have too much emotion involved, they're not going to give a shit. It's just going to be like, yep. And they're going to shut off their ears and be like, I don't even care what you're saying right now because you're just a dick.
How many times have you and I, like, I will get in his face, like, I will lose my shit and throw things. Like, I will literally become enraged if he's like, I'm going to call him right now. And I'm like, no, you're not going to call this person right now. Number one, they're off.
Yep.
You guys have to understand these people have a life outside of your business. It's your business, not theirs.
And
so
they do deserve their time.
They deserve their time just like, oh, my phone's going off, everybody. Sorry. They deserve their time just like the business owners are working so hard to start working on their business and not in their business to where you want that time. But here's the thing is like, whenever something happens to where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so upset. Like, how could they do this? I have this mindset. And my mindset is that nobody wakes up in the morning and says, hey, I'm going to go and fuck up today. I'm going to go and fuck this business up so hard to where it's just going to ruin everyone's jobs. Like, everybody wakes up every day and they have the intention that they're going to do the best job they possibly can.
Yeah.
So you can never lose sight that these people are there trying their best ultimately.
But
And
also,
if you have a problem, you need to address it in a non-emotional way. So sometimes take that time.
but it's also
And you've gotten better
same
at that.
thing. It's also the same thing in reverse.
Oh, totally.
You know, for when you're receiving this information from the owner or the manager or whatever, it's your job to listen and to create an understanding to where you're going to want to implement these things on your own without them having to come down on you even harder about it. There is a reason why they are creating this context for you to follow. And maybe that has to do with money. Maybe that has to do with customer retention.
Or a personal problem.
Or a personal problem. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of things that come into play with any implementation or rule change in any business.
So what we did is a couple weeks ago, John and I live separately. He runs our Arizona location. I run the California location. But I basically undercover bossed our customers in a way. I did ride-alongs with our technicians just because I think it's important for me. You know, I can sit my ass in this cushy chair all day and put on makeup and look great, but it's also important for me to really have the perspective of the
Right.
day-to-day of our employees. I don't ever want to lose sight of that because it's so easy to be sitting in a chair crossing your arms thinking, hey, you know what, this is so easy. You know, anybody can do this, when they're being faced with so many different type of variables or things that contribute to you know, positive mindset, negative mindset, stuff like that. So I think that as a business owner, that's the other thing you have to do. If you want your employees to continue to support your business,
Right.
not buy into your business, but support your business and want to work for you, don't ever lose sight of perspective and position.
But there's also encouraging roles that you can do for them, incentivizing them to where if you they are doing a great job at something, give them something. Make it a game for them. Give them a goal to want to contribute to this change in a positive way. Make it fun for them. Everyone needs a game to play, and everyone needs something to reignite them in the business that they're in or the employment that they're in. Everyone gets stagnant, and it's your job as the boss or the owner or manager to find out how we can keep our employees interested, but it's also your job as an employee to realize these things about yourself and when these things are, and talk to somebody about what you can do or what somebody else can do for you to help you through the situation and get you to a place where you want to still be involved in that company that you're with or whatever. Because if you don't speak, no one can help you. No one can correct a situation if you're not talking about it or presenting the problem.
Well, we've seen in our past where we've had employees that are maybe frustrated about things. And I'm going to tell you right now, vibes don't lie. You know when shit's not right. We're all very intuitive. You know when something's not 100% copacetic with somebody. Something's off. So we've had issues before in the past where I'm like, hey, you know, so-and-so, something's going on. You know, I've gone up to an individual and said, hey, like, what's going on, man? And then they blow up at you. It's the same thing. So if you're an employee and you have a problem, you can't address things in an emotional way. And if you're upset, You need to process things. You need to really think about it. If you're a religious person, pray on it. Whatever it is that you need to do to get your mind right to address things in the most healthy, positive way, do that. Because
same thing with customers. If you're a customer, then you have a problem. You need to present yourself in a professional way if you want your problem resolved. We go across these things with our customers that if there's a problem, they present it. We are so thankful that they present us with these problems and we tell them, without you telling us there's a problem, we don't know what we need to fix.
And the same thing goes in a marriage.
Same thing goes in a marriage, and the same thing goes in an employee's relationship.
So what I'm saying is we all have relationships one way or another. Personal relationships, romantical relationships. John and I share the romantic relationship and the business relationship together, and sometimes those things can cross. And it's really important that in front of your employees, you don't let that cross. You don't let your emotions get the best of you. Whatever's going on in your personal life shouldn't ever cross over into your professional life.
Yeah, and we definitely want to make everybody aware that we are not perfect at all these things, but we are aware of these things that we need to make happen for our staff to be happy to want to work with us, and our customers as well.
I mean, we've been in the position where we're fighting and arguing, disagreeing, and you kind of look around the room and our employees are like, oh, this is the most awkward situation I've ever been in.
Absolutely.
And I feel like a total asshole. I don't want to ever put people in that position. So you gotta make sure that you are the mentor. You are the one that's exuding the positivity and the mental health and the support and stuff like that.
So going back into the true buy-in is going to be where you have found your balance to communicate with your staff. And like I said, the buy-in also helps if you give an incentive to do that. Like if you're not so, like you could be like, hey, I will give you an extra 15 minutes off for lunch. Like it could be something stupid like that.
Sorry, our guys don't even want to take lunch breaks.
No, I know, but let's say if you're in a warehouse position and you've like scanned so many boxes and you've met this quota for the week, and they're like, you know what, next week you get an extra 15 minutes off every day for lunch to do whatever you want.
Yeah,
but it's something you have to find something for them though.
Hourly employees don't want that. I'm not trying
to argue. If they're getting paid for it?
I'm just giving you perspective.
If they're getting paid for it?
Okay, if it's paid, then yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so if it's paid, yeah.
Yes. So incentivize. Try to find something that your employees would love to play.
We love doing cool stuff. So we're going to a trade show in a couple months. We like going to our local PHCC trade show. And what do we do with our employees every year for the PHCC?
Oh, we get a limo. And we ride down there dirty. We're drinking. We're having a good time. And we go out to lunch. We go back to the trade show. And then we all go back home. And it's a really cool team building thing, I think, and relationship building.
It's cool.
And it's just something extra that we give back to our staff, I feel like. It's just a cool, what am I trying to say? I'm sorry. I'm spacing.
So he doesn't even want to do lunch. He told me this year,
No,
do not expect me to go to lunch.
Doing it.
Because
I got too much stuff to do.
OG Plum God, when he goes to trade shows, he has all these vendors and people there that are basically trying to schedule him in to do an appearance or talk to them, take a look at their product or whatever. So that is kind of hard because
especially with our local, local stuff. Because I see friends that I've worked with before, or I see a lot of local people that want to talk to me, not even vendors. So I give my people that want to talk to me that one-on-one time.
Yeah, but anyways, sometimes you need to give that one-on-one to the people that give you the most, like your employees.
And I definitely do.
All right. Well, we'll see. So if you guys are going to go to the PHCC this year, come and look for us. John Thompson, OG Plum God, Devynn Thompson, the wife of the OG.
We'll be cruising.
And please come and give our employees a high five. If you guys have any ideas or things that you guys want to contribute as far as employee incentivization plans, programs.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Close, yeah.
Okay. Let us know. Thank you so much for watching.
Check out Mechanical Hub YouTube and check out our podcast. If you are watching the YouTube, if you're on the road, you can listen to it as you're working.
Yeah.
So thank you guys all, and we will see you soon.
And I'm going to research how to get a fancy trash can in a cabinet.
Or in a refrigerator.
Refrigerator.